Trinity Baptist School, we are in lesson, course two, lesson 76, Trinity Baptist School Math. Try to get that right this time, right? We are in page 529, and we're going to be dealing with something called a complex fraction today, okay? So here we have a complex fraction. So basically, it's a fraction over a fraction. How in the world do we satisfy that, okay? Well, a couple things that we need to understand is, first of all, the bottom here needs to get to the denominator of 1. Well, how do we do that, okay? Well, the process of doing that is rather simple. We're going to start always with the denominator, and we're going to multiply by what's called the reciprocal, which just means this fraction on the bottom flipped, okay? So you'll see the correlation of 3 and 3, 2 and 2. And what that does is that allows us to cancel this all out, and it equals 1, because 2 times 3 is 6, 3 times 2 is 6, which is equal to 1, all right? So now we have 1 over. But what we do here, we have to do the exact same thing up here. So we have to do a multiplication problem of 3 and 2. Well, what's 3 times 3? It's 9. What's 5 times 2? It's 10. So our answer, since it's over 1, is equal to 9/10. All right? So we did a division problem of two fractions in a complex setting. All right? Let's do that again. Let's work on a different problem and see if we can make this even a little more complicated. So this time, we're going to have a fraction that is 25 and 2/3, and we're going to put this over 100. Okay, what do we do? All right, first of all, since this is 100, it's like saying 100 over 1, okay? So because it's a single number down here, we're going to start with these on top. Okay, and what we have to do is we have to change this into an improper fraction. So let's do that. 3 times 25 is 75 plus 2 is 77 over 3 over 100 over 1, because 100 is kind of over 1. Now, we're back to what we saw in last question, okay? So now we're going to deal with the denominator, and we're going to have to multiply 1 over 100 to cancel this all out. And what we do down here, we apply up here. Now be careful not to take this one and put it up. That would be wrong, okay? You always have to do the reciprocal up here. All right, so what's left? 77 times 1 is equal to 77. 3 times 100 is 300, okay? So, pretty simple to come up with our answer with these complex fractions. All right, now let's do one where the complexity comes on the denominator, okay? So in the next example, you have 15 over 7 and 1/3, all right? If you see a fraction that looks like this, you have to convert it, okay? So let's do that. We multiply 3 times 7, which is 21, plus 1, which is 22 over 3, and then it's going to be 15, and remember, it's like 15 over 1, okay? So we're going to do the reciprocal here. This all cancels out, and we do the same thing up here, and we're left with 45 over 22, because 15 times 3 is 45 over 22. Now, we can change this back into a standard form, okay? And to do that, remember, we just simply divide, right? So 45, 22 goes in 2 times. We know that that is the case, and we have a remainder 1. So our answer is 2, and then our remainder is 1, and then over 22, our divisor. So there's our full answer, okay? This is a correct answer, and this is a correct answer. It's just rearranged, okay? So those are the kinds of problems you are going to have, all right? One more problem that comes with the same idea here is, what if they give you a percent, okay? 88 1/3%. And then it says, turn that into a fraction and simplify. Well, you're like, okay, it already is a fraction. Well, this idea of a percent actually means that it becomes a complex fraction, okay? Watch what this turns into, okay? It really means 88 1/3 over 100. Now this is a complex fraction, and now we have to do our work. So, what is 88 times 3 plus 1? You'll find that that's 250 over 3 over 100, and then remember we put it over 1 so that we can multiply by the reciprocal. That all cancels out. We multiply by 1 over 100, and we get 250 over 300. We can reduce, first of all, by canceling off those. Now we're left with 25 and 30. Both are divisible by 5. So if we do that, it's 5 over 6. There is our answer. Okay? So we went from 88 1/3% to what fraction? 5/6. So you can take a percent, put it into this equation, and come out with a fraction. And they're all the same. They're all the same number. It's all the same type of relationship. Okay? Pretty interesting how math works in that direction. All right, if you have any questions, let me know, and I'll be willing to help.